here's the tea this week.
Tea?
This week on Feeling My Oats, we discuss all things internet, namely the pros and cons with keeping us all connected to one another, our overwhelming fixation on social media in the West, and we rate our favorite viral memes and videos. Enjoy the show, facts!
Welcome back to
Feeling My Oats.
This is our weekly chat show where we kiki about our lives, catch up on politics, and have a fun, flirtatious, faggy good time.
What did you just call me?
A fag.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that is true about me.
Faggy. We are your hosts,
Jeff Dunaway.
And Jojo, and welcome to the show, babes.
Hi, Cicelintra.
Hi.
Hi, gorgeous.
Hi, Gorgelina.
I love when you say
Gorgelina?
Yeah.
Gorgelina Jolie.
That's great.
You're great.
Thanks.
I think you're so beautiful, Jeff.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
She's humble, ladies.
I'm really humble. But welcome to the show. But before we begin our episode on the internet, we want to encourage you all to engage with us on Instagram at Feeling My Oats Pod, Twitter at Feeling My Oats PD, and our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Subscribe.
If you're feeling even more frisky for your attention, please send us an email at feelingmyoatspod@gmail.com with your deepest, shadiest questions and stories. We hope to bring them all to the pod. And finally, follow us on Patreon. We are launching it as a brand new platform to engage with you and to feel your oats. You can check us out at for some exclusive content and also some exclusive sound bites and also early access.
Who doesn't like a good bite, a good nibble, right?
Oh my God.
A good
Yeah, we hope to see you soon. We are actually going to be recording our first episode on the topic of embarrassment soon, where we're going to be sharing some juicy sex-related stories.
Ooh, how embarrassing.
Yeah, you have a lot to... It's more an episode for you. Because I'm perfect.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yes. We know. We live.
We have so much... Being queer has to do with trauma bonding.
Yeah, it's trauma bonding.
It's
embarrassing. We embarrass ourselves on the daily, and we are shameless.
What do you think is the ultimate goal of doing the pod? Is it some kind of like intervention, not like for us to like sort out some of the things that we've been through?
Yeah, we're airing out our own feelings of insecurity.
We're
I
forcing
guess.
everybody to listen.
I mean, we're not forcing anyone since they're paying, baby.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we chose embarrassment, because honey, that's something to pay for. Give us the coins.
Reparations.
Yeah, for you.
For me, yeah.
For me, tomfoolery.
What's the word again?
What?
White supremacist. I have this joke. I'm an ally.
Yourself?
Yeah.
You are the joke.
I'm an ally for white people.
Yeah, I know. You said that earlier.
It's just so wrong on so many levels.
You're so wrong on many, many, many levels.
I know. So, anyway, what's making you feeling your oats this week? Anything new happening?
Yeah, at the time of this recording, I haven't started streaming, but I will.
Yay!
By the time this recording is released, actually, I'm going to have my first and second stream, actually. So just a heads up for you fags listening. I plan on streaming Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Sundays from noon to 3 p.m. So if things work out, I'd like to stream more. So I'm keeping things light for now because I just started a new job and I still love to sleep and have my personal time, right?
What is that? What is personal time?
You know. Yeah. I literally send you pictures. No, I'm just kidding.
That's on the Patreon.
Yeah, that's on the Patreon. Just like last week in Jeff's hole. You can find it on Grindr and Patreon.
We combined OnlyFans we built in the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
In the Patreon.
It's part of our whole scheme.
Our whole scheme.
Oh. My schemey hole.
Ew.
So it would mean the world It would mean the world to me if you all joined me. I'd also love to stream with others too. So if you are interested, just reach out and we can game out together.
Yeah,
And
you might see me there.
Yeah, you
Let's
probably
play together.
will. Yeah.
Let's play games together. Do you like games?
I love games.
I love games.
Games.
What is that, bro?
Games. But enough about me. How's your life going, Joe?
Hi, I'm Joe. You wanted a twist, eh?
I can cut this out. What's making you feel your oats this week, sis?
I am feeling great. That's a lie. You know what? Sometimes life, you have those weeks you feel like nothing is happening, and that's okay. 'Cause especially I'm trying to remind myself to enjoy writing, and also this part, right? It's I have to constantly remind myself, hey, just like find ways to enjoy it and make it enjoyable instead of just having to fall into, oh, I'm just gonna do it as a chore again this week.
Yeah. I mean, part of writing too is finding the inspiration to do it, because I know for myself personally, when I write something and I'm not feeling inspired, it's not going to manifest itself, right?
Yeah, actually.
It takes effort, and sometimes you just have to take a break. I
Yeah.
mean, if you need another week or two to kind of like just filter out whatever's going on in your life.
Going out.
You
see me with my squatty potty.
Yeah. On the toilet.
On the toilet.
Filtering that eau de toilette and spraying
Wow.
it on. But
What kind of podcast is this?
we're talking about scat.
I was thinking how, like, the way that I've been writing has been more extractive than it is. Or maybe I just look at myself more critical than other people.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you do that. You are critical. You are self-critical.
Right, but like we often take ideas and also extract ideas from my body and to write it into something.
Yeah.
And just think of how traditionally writing has been this kind of self-extracting kind of behavior.
And process, yeah.
Yeah, and like how much are we gonna do this? Like how many weeks I can do this?
Right. I mean, that's good writing though, because you can ask someone or commission someone to write something else that has nothing to do with their lived experience, but it's going to be trash.
Right.
You can't write on things you don't know about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like the more I think about like write what you know, I think especially for the nonfiction kind of essay writing.
Yeah.
For the BIPOC writers, especially, like, it's more becoming, like, write who you are.
I mean, because that's your lived experience.
Right. That's what
You don't write what you don't know. And you have a lot of experiences to share with people, and I know that about you.
Yeah.
You have a great written voice, and you need to spread that like you spread your whole.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Feed the children.
Feed the children. I've been trying to enjoy writing more, like overall in general. Just trying to feel my oats sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to feel your oats to feel your oats.
Thanks,
Does that make sense?
Yeah. How about you? What's making you feeling your oats this week?
I know this is actually a little redundant, but I've been entering the stage in my life where I just need to focus on things that bring me joy. Kind of like you when you're writing. If it's not bringing you joy, then maybe step away from it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You gotta Marie Kondo that shit.
Who is she?
The girl from down the street.
Yeah, hey Marie.
Hey, Marie. Hey, Miss Kondo. We're gonna burn you down later.
Kondo. What if her full name is Miss Marie Condomonium?
Marie Condom. Yeah. But I've been playing a lot of video games aside from my job that I've started, and that helps to keep my mental health afloat. At least. So my mind just always drifts into the negative, and I need to establish some kind of like routine or joyous rhythm that kind of pushes me towards something fulfilling.
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight. If you're unfamiliar with the game, it's just a survival horror, asymmetrical kind of vibe where there are 4 survivors and 1 killer, and you just have to like survive your way out of this game. Yeah, it's really fun. If you're unfamiliar with it, I do encourage you to check it out.
Yeah.
I plan on streaming it as well, so if you want to just wait Watch me. Yeah, let's
Preferably
do it.
with your clothes on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to do that unclothed.
No,
one wants to
I'm
see
talking
this.
about me as a viewer.
Oh, yeah. You can watch me do it. Fat what you...
Wait, I just want to quickly ask, like, why are we, I mean, we as in you and I, are more attracted to the whole genre of survival horror?
It is. Dead by Daylight is also, like, very queer in not only conception, but, like, the player base.
Yeah.
A lot of drag queens actually play this online, and they stream, and they do drag at the same time. Some of them even dress up as the characters themselves and have this whole segment on their streams where they're, like...
They act it out.
Yeah. So it's, I think it's just inherently queer because...
It's kind of submersive.
It is submersive. And a lot of queer people just, like, identify with that horror aspect or that horror aesthetic because it, like, captures what's going on in our minds.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of, like, the people who are the survivor or the cast are heteronormative.
Yeah.
Like, especially if I think about the Scream franchise, like, there are so many tropes, the nerdy guy and, like, the black guy, the black girl who always dies first, and, like, the virgin couple or whatever. Like,
and then you have Brenda Meeks, who survives everything and says, Cindy, that's a bone. Cindy, that's a skeleton. Cindy, this is
like,
bones.
Like, the whole scary, is it what scary movie?
That was Scary Movie
Scary
too.
Movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of parodying, like
that was the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, it's like making fun of how ridiculous this all is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been focusing on ways also to improve this new Twitch channel and to find potential followers. And I've been playing throughout the week, and I've been getting followers just by playing the game normally.
Yeah.
So I've gained 6 different followers in the past week.
Sweet.
Just by playing this game.
That's a 600% increase.
It is.
That sounds like...
You're a bitch.
No, it's like people always fucking... Anyway, I'm going on a tangent.
Because your face is attached to it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
But the Twitch process is also quite tedious and long. For example, I did some research the other day, and you can't get a subscription button on your Twitch account until you actually meet some of the requirements, and some of them were just... astronomical.
What are the requirements?
So, gaining 50 followers, maintaining an average of 3 simultaneous viewers within the last 30 days, stream 500 minutes or more within the last...
500 minutes?
Yeah, within the last 30 days. Stream over at least 7 days over the last 30 days.
That's roughly like 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah, that's not that bad, but...
I mean, it's a lot, though, still.
I mean, yeah, because this is, like, free labor.
I know.
Right?
Has this always been a thing? I mean, you probably
guess
don't.
So. I actually don't know how long this has been a thing, but I mean, I was doing research because I couldn't find the subscription button. Right. And so I did the research and I found this out, and I was like, oh, you actually have to do like the free labor before you actually get any kind of results.
Right, or following or recognition.
Yeah. And it's just the same thing with this pod, though.
I mean, like, I think it's all ultimately all kinds of creative endeavors.
Yeah.
It's all about building it. And until the point that you have, like, a recognizable profile.
And following.
And kind of name, like, people... I actually joined into, like, a Substack, like, marketing when you called me earlier today. And there was this lovely person. Her name is Karna. She led us, like, a marketing workshop. It's about, like, know, trust, and follow. Mm-hmm. It's like people have to know you first and then trust you, and then have to like give you like a constant stable following. I think that like a lot of like the creative things that we're doing, whether listening out there, like the listeners out there, like you have to build something until people are comfortable with you.
Exactly.
And then it kind of it will gain some kind of snowballing effect later on. But anyway, I don't...
That's the hope, right?
That's the hope, yeah.
The hope is that you do actually build that following and that it actually pays off in the end.
Yeah, whatever that might look like.
Whatever you're looking for in general. I mean, if you're content with just streaming and not having a following, I mean, do you, right?
Yeah.
But I want a following because I deserve it.
We love attention. Listeners out there, so if you're just looking to support us, the show, just feel free to subscribe to Jojo's Twitch. That will be a great help, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the Twitch is actually an extension of this podcast at Feeling My Oats TTV. And give us a follow. Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we move on to the next segment?
Yes, and we're going to actually move on to our next segment now.
What is it called again?
What is it called?
What's an adjective?
And what is that?
What is it?
that?
What is it?
What?
Is
What?
apple an adjective?
No, that's
A noun.
that's the.
I don't know. I'm learning English.
And now we begin our segment, What's an Adjective? So we are going to hit the random adjective generator to prompt the first thing that comes to mind. And we want to spill the beans and tell the stories, Mama.
Hunty.
Yes. So without further ado, let's see what Jeff's adjective is. Soft.
Okay.
Most people who are listening to this, their dicks are soft.
Listening to my voice.
Yes.
Soft. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Not to be a whole identitarian
A
about
whole.
it, I think soft. Like emotionally?
I mean, think of what you want to think.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
If you just want to think of like, oh, that's so soft. That sweater is soft. Like, I want to touch it. Go by all means.
I think men in general. Wow, big statements here. I think
We're on to something.
2022. It's time for men to drop all that bullshit.
What bullshit?
Just like men coming to the shop and like acting all coy and doesn't want to talk to me because in my mind I think like
You're too soft?
they think I'm too soft or not on the same manliness. The whole concept
I mean,
of
they're right.
manliness. What the fuck is wrong with them? I don't think I'm a soft person. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, you're pretty bony.
Soft. I don't know.
Do you like soft dudes?
I do. What does that mean? Soft.
Wait. Do you like soft men? Men who are like soft in their demeanor, who are like
Honest, I don't. The thing is, I don't.
you like to be
No.
roughhoused.
I like people who are versatile. Wink, wink. Like, as in they have a duality in them and in the way that they know how to communicate.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of men in general, I'm thinking about the army guys that come to the cafe that I work at.
From across the street.
It's all like a kind of form of drag. Like,
I mean,
they know that they're putting it on, and they know they have an access to their softness or whatever that vulnerability is. Mm-hmm. I think they just have a hard time accessing that. And it's not my job to be there and like, hey,
listen to me. I'm a
Yeah,
fag.
exactly.
I'm gonna make you soft.
Yeah.
I mean, also, men like that don't want to exhibit any kind of softness, though.
Fuck them.
Right? I mean, yeah,
Kinda.
that's the point.
Like, I'm not gonna change anything. I'm not gonna go into any relationship changing anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm attracted to people or just, like, have a duality.
Okay.
Softness. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's fierce. It took some time to get there, but we
Yeah.
got there.
We got it, girl.
We got
it.
We got it, girl. We got it.
Anyway.
Anyway, so it's my turn. So
you wanna
without
hit-
further ado,
A dude.
a dude.
Let's go. You got...
Average.
This fucking generator keeps reading us. I've had it.
I'm not average. I think I'm above average myself, like in terms of personality and aesthetic. No, I look like a piece of fucking shit. No, I look like a potato.
You don't. A couch potato. It's a
No,
baked,
I look like a potato.
a baked potato.
I just came out of the ground, mama. I'm a potato.
You're
I'm
a
as
rhizome.
white as they can get.
Is that what a rhizome is? A potato.
A rhizome?
Anyway. This is a weird turn. I think you're more... I think we're all...
We're all average.
I honestly... Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like who we are as people, I think we all are just like fucking average.
Yeah.
I mean,
No one's perfect.
no one is.
People who want to perform or put on a whole performance of they're better than any... it's drag. It's a kind of. I mean, not
Everything is drag according to Jeff.
It's a phenomenon.
You're a phenomenon.
Yeah, from LA to Tokyo. Mm-hmm. What is an average dick size?
I actually have a way to gauge sizes. Mm-hmm. So anything below 5 inches is a penis. 5 to 7 is a dick.
Okay.
And anything above 7 is a cock.
Okay.
And that would mean the 5 to 7 is most likely the average.
Yeah, I think so too.
So dicks.
Yeah.
We need about 6 more fucking dicks.
Right
and that's
now.
It. That's it.
That's it. We should have included Sophie and the other one on the partnership episode, but we forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what's a super adjective?
I don't know. Big?
Is super sexy a super adjective?
Super is an adjective.
If you put a hyphen in the middle, that's a super adjective.
You're a super adjective.
I know. Thanks.
But anyways, that concludes our segment on...
What's an adjective?
Coming through with that soundboard.
And I still don't know what the fucking adjective is. I can't help it. I'm illiterate.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
After all that we've been through on grad school, we still don't know what an adjective is. But we want to take a quick break before we talk about our topic of the week on the internet.
Yes.
Bitch. And we are back.
We are.
Let's talk about the internet. This topic has been on the list, and we've been planning on doing this for a while. Mm-hmm. Because it's so central to our lives now, literally shaping how we interact with one another, how we communicate, organize, and also navigate the personal and the political. Mm-hmm. It's without a question that how the internet has kind of like a grasp on every single one of us. Yeah, but at what cost? Mm-hmm. So we want to take a little bit of deep dive into our relationship with the internet and like some of the moments or parts of the internet we like or don't like, and coming through with some of the hottest takes. Do you remember life before the internet and what that looks like for you? Do you remember?
I do, but it's like vague, right? Because I'm an early 90s kid. The internet came out late 90s, so I didn't have very many years.
98? I feel like me as someone who was born in 95, I have a different time. Like
you have a different process of like remembering what life was like before that. Mm-hmm. But I remember a time before the internet when we used to go knock on our neighbors' doors to reach out to our friends, right? And we didn't have phones, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have anything at that point.
In the suburbs of Sudbury, like the northern part of...
Yeah. North, a little town called Hanmer, north of Sudbury.
Yeah.
So on our street, we had a lot of like nature around. So we would go run around in the forest or run up and down the street, do things, whatever. We spent a lot of time outside, and just building things. We built
tree houses.
We did. We built tree houses in the back of one house, and we had like these little ice skating rinks in the neighborhood. And in the winter we would go do that. We'd go run around, whatever. I mean,
that's a great childhood to me,
right?
Not until the accident.
Yeah,
I am envious of people who grew up in like the more rural parts or the suburb parts of cities, I think.
Yeah, because you grew up in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, like you're surrounded by technology everywhere.
And a lot of people.
Yeah.
Huge groups of people going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through my
understand that. Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of technology were you introduced to? Like, were you doing any IT classes or computer classes?
Yeah, I remember the old computers. They instead of mice, they had the balls and the keyboards.
That made me gay.
Yeah, playing with balls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Were you doing any kind of like learning how to use the internet or?
I don't remember that specifically, but I do remember having dial-up internet for the first time and how much I wanted to play Neopets.
Oh my god.
Neopets.
Neopets. That's a huge part of my growing up as well.
Yeah, that's the gayest thing.
Neopets is a poor man's Pokemon.
Yeah.
I said it.
Do you remember too when you had to like refresh the page because they would only add items every like 15 minutes, so you would constantly refresh the fucking page and everything would still be sold out because everyone was doing that, right?
Yep.
I was only allowed to get on the dial-up internet for like an hour a week or something
Before your mom talks to someone on the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember the screeching sound that like the dial-up makes. Jilly! Shut up.
No, that's just my pussy.
That's my pussy. Is your pussy on fire? My pussy. I remember the first piece of technology that I used was in school. Like we had IT classes.
Yeah.
And we were asked to try to use the Internet Explorer long before Chrome became a thing, and just trying to like. Because the keyboards are all in English, so the computer lessons are more so like an English lesson. Come on, English lessons! It's like trying to look at the whiteboard in the front and see what the website spells like.
White?
Yeah.
Why does it gotta be white?
Because I'm a colonial subject. I see everything through the white lens. But like I just grew up having this weird like relationship with technology in English. Because everything is in English, right? Like it just reinforces like how I'm gonna process information and also
for the next lifetime. Yeah. For your whole life.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's so weird too because kids now they just grow up with phones and iPads and shit.
Right.
Like one of my brother's ex-girlfriends, she had a son who like grew up with this iPad and he knew how to use it better than any of us. Yeah. He was 4 years old.
They're gonna start to learn how to Photoshop, Procreate.
Procreate.
The app called Procreate.
He's just a child.
He's a child. Like they're called iPad moms, you know.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah. You with the little Apple Pencil.
Apple
Pencil. I think growing up with internet has changed how we interact with one another, and also how and how we relate to each other. And our generation has a different understanding of the real life compared with our parents who didn't grow up, quote unquote, with the internet.
Yeah.
And only catch up on like years later.
And they still don't know.
Yeah.
My father still doesn't know how to use a computer.
Wow.
He just figured out how to send emojis over his cell phone. And he sends them to me every single fucking day now.
He sends me pictures.
Of
what are you talking about?
What is he sending you?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you. Like what do you think of the broader cultural implications like about the internet? Like what do you think about like how people connect? Like
I think about how the internet, specifically in terms of the pandemic that we've just encountered the past 2 years, how that actually made life somewhat bearable for many of us. Especially at the very beginning. Do you remember what it was like when we first started the pandemic and we were all told to isolate and we were like, how the fuck are we going to keep connected?
I feel like that's the first time that we all feel like we can breathe for a second.
Yeah, that was a moment.
That was a moment.
It was a moment.
Yeah. But
it
also,
was what?
It was overwhelming, though. It was a moment. Sorry, I totally missed your joke. We have great chemistry here.
Chemistry?
Chemistry.
I'm not in science, honey.
I didn't go to school for that.
Science?
I think during COVID and the pandemic, I felt really overwhelmed online.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was a surge of people. People weren't working, so everyone was on social media at that time.
Yeah.
Because we were all told to go home, and not do anything else in public, right?
Right.
So everyone was accessing their social media at such a rapid pace because there was nothing else to fucking do. Right?
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I don't even care about social media most of the time.
But we're sucked into it.
Yeah, we are, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, see people how they live their lives.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, the whole concept of influencer, like, they're traveling during the middle of the pandemic. I'm like,
Yeah.
Huh.
The only thing they're influencing me to do is kill
jump
myself.
off a bridge. Trigger warning.
Sorry about it.
Yeah.
But the internet also allows people to work from home, right?
Right.
I have the luxury of working from home,
Yeah.
and I love that
Yeah.
because I'm not to rub it in people's faces, but I get out of bed, I take a shower, and I go on the computer. Mm-hmm. So it literally takes me like half an hour to get ready and make myself presentable, and I don't have to I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to spend money on transportation.
Right. That would be an imaginable concept for people from 30 years ago. If you tell your parents that people can work from home, like, you're crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, every time I walk into this living room and stare at those fucking computers, I want to, like, rip my eyes out, because now I have the work and the personal, like, blended together in this one space, and it makes my stomach turn a little. But that's because of capitalism. That's because I hate capitalism.
Like, the miraculous or not miraculous ways. Like, capitalism can always find ways to intervene into your life and try to...
I mean, our whole life. Like, I look around this room right now and I'm seeing things, and this is just the material conditions of capitalism, right?
This is your office.
Yeah, it's my office. It's also where I have my personal computer, but it's also where I have everything else in my life, including, like, my book collection, which is all a result of, like, the material conditions of our world. Like, I have all of these books here, and they are all reminders that, hey, I purchased those under capitalism, and they were produced under the same economic system.
Right.
So
yeah, totally.
It's just trying to navigate my work life and my personal life, but now they're both coexisting in the same fucking space, which is my living room.
I think there are a lot of the lines between work and life, because of the internet, the accessibility of the internet, and also the pandemic has made it so blurry.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who I know from Hong Kong, the working culture there, it's intensified because as people are working from home, the bosses are constantly expecting them
to do more,
things, because
to produce more, because there are less distractions.
Exactly.
But actually, there are more here.
Yeah.
There are more distractions. I have my cat, like, licking me while I'm in training for this job, while I'm being recorded. And she's a distraction in itself. Like, she's distracting me, but also it's a great distraction. Talking about my training further, I love the fact that I can actually mute other people if I don't want to hear their voices. That's beautiful. If I was there working in person, I wouldn't have that luxury. I would have to hear their annoying voices. Their voices that are grinding in my fucking ears.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm talking about you, listeners. I'm just kidding.
But what do you think? How's your relationship with mental health when using the internet, or when you're on the internet? Like, for me specifically, has to do with like racial identity, especially during Pride Month.
Yeah.
And also all year round across. And the people that I follow are, predominantly white.
Of course.
White gay man to be specific.
Okay.
And I have this, like, weird racial dysmorphia whenever I'm online. You're so easily to compare yourself, and also just to, like, go into a dark place of envy with no kinds of healthier way to cope with it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of damaging. Like, so I have to remind myself, like, you don't need to compare, and also don't compare your shit with somebody's best moments.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the best. That's the best thing I've heard. Like, I've learned throughout the past month. Just
not to compare yourself,
because everything is kind of put on in a way that, right? Like, especially on the internet, everything is
a production.
It's a production. I'm a production. Everything is put on in some ways to, sell, to promote something, or to trick people into following.
Yeah.
I'm also culpable of it. I'm also one of those people, probably. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, the internet is a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's a blessing in ways that we can maintain connectivity, but it's a curse in that way as well, right?
Right.
It's also a very, it's a virtual space that kind of commodifies a lot of what happens in the real world.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes it feels the internet is hijacking, overriding our real life.
I know in very many ways it kind of reproduces the physical and the virtual. It's like really weird, right?
Oh.
But speaking on behalf of like my own mental health, I think that it is very damaging in a lot of ways because I mean you're constantly bombarded with images that kind of promote this
Idealized or heightened version of a life, like of an ideal life, of what a good life looks like.
Yeah. For example, I'll give you an example here. The past year and a half, I was unemployed, and looking at everyone's Instagrams and looking at what they're posting and things that they're doing, and not having access to any like money at all to do any of those things was actually very like damaging to my mental health, including like friends. Like I would see other friends going on little mini road trips. I can't do that because I didn't have the money
And the access.
Exactly, to a vehicle or to anyone that has a vehicle, because all my friends are losers. No, just kidding.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
Hey.
No, we're not keeping that.
Just a little lighthearted in the podcast.
But it's very damaging sometimes to just sift through your social media and see other people doing things that you don't have access to.
Yeah.
And doing things that you just cannot financially
afford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So, Jeff, have you ever disconnected yourself from the internet for an extended period of time?
Actually, I have never.
No?
I've only changed the way of my presence, and also, like, for example, completely dropping out of Facebook.
Yeah.
And not using it so much.
Yeah.
And kind of like refining my Instagram use and just do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like this pod where we just focused on Instagram and Twitter rather than anything else. And I think those are the two main ones now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think ultimately to completely like fade away from the digital life, it's maybe a little bit too impossible for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also in the person to person thing.
It's also your choice.
Yeah, it's also someone's choice. Because I think when I quit completely
By quit, do you mean kill yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thinking about something. Thanks. I think when everybody around us are not doing the same thing, you are feeling some major FOMO. I don't know if people still use the word FOMO anymore.
What the fuck's FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh.
So it's kind of digital
Can't
FOMO.
relate.
Can't relate. Because I feel like to write online, I have to be online as well to promote my work.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it's about be more deliberate and be more intentional about how I use the internet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think quitting internet is like a total, like...
It's just not possible.
It's just not possible in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. In many ways, it's not possible for me either, but I have spent time away from the internet, and it's exhilarating and much needed. I think everyone should distance themselves from social media in one way or another for however long they need.
Just a little bit, or,
Whether that's a weekend or a week or a month.
Or an hour, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes, really.
Yeah. Speaking of breaks, we should take a break before we talk more about the internet.
Yeah, let's do that. And we're back, Fags.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, this.
So with the internet comes social media, which we've already talked about. But Jeff, what's your favorite social media platform? OnlyFans, Christian Mingle, Grindr, Ashley Madison Scruff?
Ashley. I went to high school with her.
No, you didn't.
I actually did. She made the website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's an entrepreneur.
So what is your favorite social media platform?
I think my favorite would be Instagram.
Visual?
Visually.
Yeah.
I think our generation is becoming more visual.
Yeah.
And more and more visual.
Yeah.
Like Instagram becomes Facebook became Instagram. Instagram become TikTok. And the next thing you know, it's going to be like a 2-second version of something.
Why do you think we are like so fascinated by this visual stimulation?
Because it's primal.
You think so?
I think it triggers something in us, like how simple it is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I'm thinking about someone hunting something.
Really?
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is completely different. I think of
Go off.
porn as something visual, as something that gets you stimulated in a different kind of way, but it's necessary for a lot of people, like having that visual stimulation.
Yeah.
So some people don't get horny until they start seeing.
Or just listen to our pod. Hello. But I think there's a huge revival of the writing and also the blog. Like writing, I think Twitter had a really huge revival during the 2010s. And people are starting to become more aware of that because as a result of the overwhelming internet, that people start to gravitate towards more the word. And Twitter has a huge user increase during the since the 2010s. And also the blog is making a huge comeback as well in the recent years.
Really?
I think people are starting to understand their digital patterns.
Yeah.
And also, and on the different end of it, we have a lot of Gen Z TikTok, and that's a whole huge another.
That's another segment, but
yeah,
I was also thinking in terms of preferences. A lot of people prefer visual stimulation, whereas, like you said, there's that revival in just writing in general that other people tend to gravitate towards. Right? I think it's just also a preference in terms of what captures us specifically as individuals.
Right.
Like for myself, I prefer Instagram as well because I prefer visual stimulation through photographs, through audio-visual stimulation in general, videos, etc. I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't know if we even consider YouTube as a form of social media, but it is in many ways because there are messages being conveyed through audio and through visual representation, right?
Yeah.
So the internet is this space that is just so open and encapsulates different kinds of approaches to engage audiences in general.
Right.
And I do prefer myself personally audiovisual stimulation in that sense.
Right. And I think there's a huge other genre of social media like dating apps.
Oh yeah.
Like Grindr and Tinder. Like the internet has reshaped how people date.
Yeah.
And also hookup culture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I talked to a few older gents around my community about how they used to cruise, like places like bathhouses, parks, and how they, during the 80s and 90s and maybe long before that, has always been a place for public sex.
Yeah.
Even though people still use those spaces now for sexual means, but I think internet has played a huge hand in how it changes how people think about sex and how they do.
And how they communicate with one another to negotiate a specific space to engage in that sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With all that said, though, we do want to actually play a little game. We'll list some kind of social media platform and comment on the first thing that comes to mind. So it could be a story, a memory, a recent thing you've seen, etc. Could be anything.
Sweet.
So, without further ado, Facebook. It's becoming obsolete.
It is. But they're making a huge comeback.
Comeback?
You should see...
My bag. It's covered in cum.
Ew. That's gross.
We got it, girl. We got it.
Fucking, they're making a huge comeback with the metaverse, which is just rotted.
Oh, yeah, because they rebranded.
Like, just let it go.
Yeah, but Facebook owns, like, every
Everything.
other fucking kind of social media. They own Instagram.
They literally own the internet.
They own Instagram. What else?
Grinder.
No, the gays reclaim that.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But what do you think of Facebook?
I think about how excited I was.
When it first came out?
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed until like 3 years after it became popular.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a Facebook probably until 11th grade for me. So that would have been like 2008, 2009.
Right.
So other than that, like... And I still have the same account, and I get so embarrassed, and I delete things. So, you know when you get those reminders?
About what?
They give you, like, reminders of past things that you've posted, like, years ago
Oh,
on that
no.
particular day. I cringe.
No.
I still cringe, and I delete some of them because some of them are so embarrassing.
You're
like,
gonna...
Like, it's just like a sentence. I read a book today,
That's great.
right?
Not like me.
What was yours?
I reviewed Glee. I reviewed Glee episodes. I was like, Leah Michelle was great. I'm like,
She sings so great.
I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's how I use Facebook to review Glee episodes.
And you still use blogs to do the same.
Just a different format, I guess.
Yes. That's a different format. You've never left it.
I never left it. I had this excited idea about having to create a whole narrative in the internet for the first time.
Yeah. And that was your platform.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was the platform.
that's fierce.
Yeah.
You do you, babes.
Come on, individualism.
We've already talked about this, but how do you feel about Instagram?
Instagram stories specifically. That is Instagram.
Yeah.
Like the posts don't fucking matter anymore.
You just look at the stories. That's true.
Yeah. It was genius of them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine LinkedIn do like a LinkedIn stories and it's just people wearing suits and drinking coffees and shit?
And showing their holes. With pictures
That would be
of their
so
holes.
funny. What if Microsoft Office have a stories?
I mean, they'll make it big.
They'll
They
just-
already are big.
Yeah.
Everyone has Microsoft. Fuck.
Yeah.
We don't really have much to say about Instagram because we've already said it.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, follow us on Feeling My Oats Pod. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think about Twitter?
Twitter. I'm the more active person out of the two here on Twitter.
I don't really enjoy Twitter all that much. Sometimes I'll send you things here and there that I think are funny. But other than that, I don't necessarily use it. There's some good porn on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter porn. Let's talk about Twitter porn for a second.
Let's talk about Twitter porn.
Twitter porn is doing everything for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's giving me life.
Shout out to the saved bookmark function. Because, like, that is so convenient.
Oh, yeah. You just return back to your favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my bookmark section, you have to scroll 45 minutes to get to the bottom.
Bottom?
Just saying. There's some good shit out there.
Yeah. If you aren't familiar with the Twitter algorithms and porn,
Shout out.
shout out. You can find Jeff.
Please don't. Leave me alone. Yeah, Twitter porn. I think
Here's a question for you, though.
Okay.
Do you think YouTube is a form of social media?
I think it's not. It's more like a streaming platform.
Yeah, but there are people who can, like, post. You can post things now on YouTube. You can, when I open YouTube on my phone, you can engage in, like, forums and comment sections and voting. You can vote for different things.
Oh, maybe they're making a move to make YouTube a more legitimate social media.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think it works.
Yeah.
Because it's already so fucking popular.
Yeah.
Everyone accesses YouTube.
How much time do you think you spend on YouTube on a weekly or daily
Literally
basis?
every night before I go to sleep, before I turn my light off, I have my iPad and I watch YouTube videos for anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour.
Bussy Queen.
Yeah, just watched her earlier while I was making that dough. What do you think about Grindr or even Tinder?
I think Grindr is great.
All right. I have to disagree with you there.
What's your experience?
I don't like Grindr. It actually also makes me not only cringe, but quiver.
Cringe and Quiver.
Yeah.
That's the name of the new podcast. Hey, welcome to Cringe and Quiver.
Quiver. No, it makes me very anxious.
Yeah.
Just the sounds and everything. I've met a lot of people on Grindr and they were all sketch, and I mean, not all. I met you there.
Well, thanks.
I met you there. No, we met in person, but
That's worse.
yeah. Grindr is just like kind of gross, and I don't engage with it.
Yeah.
Tinder, on the other hand, is better, but there's still some nasty.
It's a
people.
sanitized version of that, just without the nudes and shit.
Yeah, very that.
People are sometimes so direct on Grindr that it's scary.
Yeah. I've had someone send me a picture of themselves sucking dick, and then right after, I want you.
They say romance is dead.
Yeah. And I've had another person send me pictures of themselves in lingerie, and then them getting up their ass, and then say, I want you.
I'm gonna
It's the
bleep
same
this.
person.
I'm gonna bleep this whole section, and it's just filled with bleeps. Bleeps. Raunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
My experience wasn't that great either
Yeah.
because of.
I mean,
who
you
I
get
am.
fetishized, too.
I either get sexualized, hypersexualized, or fetishized.
Or disregarded.
Yeah. Or I just want someone to treat me as like a person. Or I mean, it's hard to say that. It's so easy to say that, but
Yeah.
you
have to act like a person to get treated like a person.
wow, the lessons we learn here. Well, thank you. Thanks, Mama Roo.
Thank you. And now I want to ask you, what do you think about OnlyFans and just for fans? Because in a lot of ways, those things have changed as like forms of social media, but you have to pay in order to access them.
Right. Like the subscription model on the internet has changed our recent decade.
Yeah.
Like OnlyFans, YouTube Premium. Who pays for that, by the way? Spotify, Twitch, even Patreon. Like,
Yeah.
people. Where I think there's a huge like subscription model that is going around the internet. I think
Yeah.
that's. I mean, if it worked, maybe that's why it's so popular because it works so well.
Well, it means people are paying for it.
Yeah, that's.
Right.
I think that's a good thing, but not for the corporations. We support independent.
Yeah.
Like adult performers on like OnlyFans.
But at the same time, I'd rather just give them the money straight up than to filter it through
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah. The thing is, going back to Twitter porn for just 1 second, there's a huge, overwhelming amount of Twitter porn.
Yeah.
People don't. That kind of deters them from subscribing because they can just easily find,
Yeah.
substitutions or like some kind of alternative to get there.
Yeah.
Right? Like
To get there.
To literally.
Uh-huh.
Like, so for example, I think like the dilemma that creators on the OnlyFans, they probably need to find some smart ways to, get
Yeah.
people going, and also like
And that's why they have little clips, right? To incite people and to
inside.
to actually like purchase a subscription to their OnlyFans or just for fans, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about advertising your material.
Have you subscribed to anybody?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I forgot that. Well, I'm not gonna tell anybody my link. Well, but if you do, just DM me, okay? I subscribe to an Asian. His name is Cody. He's so hot.
You're so hot.
Because I just want to subscribe for 1 month.
Yeah.
And get the fuck out of there. I just want to see as much as I can and then get out.
Yeah. And if there ain't no fisting videos,
I'm
out.
I'm out, baby. Like,
If you're not using that Crisco, I'm out.
you are not doing it right, mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crisco works on everything.
I use so much Crisco.
On what?
The supermarket sold out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, people, listeners out there, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can just subscribe for 1 month and just like see if you like it. If you like it, stick around for a little longer. And if you don't, just, peace out.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works.
That's how it works,
If you're not interested in the material anymore, then why purchase? Right.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why we are trying to create content that kind of just crosses thresholds and boundaries and gets everyone excited, right?
Yeah.
And finally, I actually wanted to ask you, what do you think about TikTok?
I think I am too old for that.
Me too.
What does that mean?
It means that we're old, bald, faggy fucks. Yeah.
Wow. As I'm touching my hair.
Yeah,
like
I'm touching his hair, yeah.
I just hate how people record themselves and point, they point, and in the video it's going to be like their words to the area that they're pointing at.
It's so cringe.
Just go on Twitter, bitch.
It's so
just
cringe.
write it out on Twitter.
Did you ever see that video of Addison Rae dancing in front of like hot dog stand, and the other girls behind her just laughing?
Hey, Flop.
Yeah, it's cringe. It's cringe.
I will call I Live My Life when I've seen someone record a TikTok in real life.
I'm gonna download TikTok just to spite you, you bitch.
We should make a TikTok just to make fun of people. That's what we do.
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
We really shouldn't.
What about you? Do you have any final thoughts on social media?
Yeah. A lot of the time, like, social media, for many of us who are, busy throughout the workday or doing things to keep ourselves busy, we use social media as like a distraction. So in a lot of ways, social media is brainless and mindless. It really is. I mean, it's like I said, a distraction.
In a way that we don't actively go into it using it,
Yeah, I actually log in just out of habit at this point.
Yeah.
It's habit. We use social media when we're fucking sitting on the toilet. We use social media when we are laying in our beds. We use social media when we are eating and doing things. Like, it's just a distraction and a habit at this point.
Yeah.
I actually get my news from social media too, because I barely seek out that information by myself. I get a lot of my news from social media because I barely seek that information out elsewhere. And I follow a lot of groups in particular that address certain social issues. For instance, I follow a lot of Indigenous people. I follow a lot of Black Lives Matter movements. I follow a lot of Palestinians, actually, even addressing the apartheid state known as Israel. And so I use social media to engage with a lot of the issues that are happening around the world, but I'm actively seeking out people who are actually in those spaces, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to not only get that information, but to actually get that information from people who are actually involved.
I hear that.
Who are actually there.
Right, or actually are in the cause themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Who are part of that movement.
Right.
Whereas you watch the news, you get news from a third-hand source, really. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, these news corporations are literally part of the problem.
Part of the state. They have to kind of switch the narrative or reshape the narrative for the benefit of the state back to it,
The benefit of the capitalists who funnel their money into that and want, their reward.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
And for our final segment on the topic of internet, we want to talk about meme culture, viral videos, and also stan culture in general. Mm-hmm. But before we get into the serious business, what are some viral videos that you remember from the very beginning, Jojo?
Love that. Love that. The first ones that come to mind, you remember shoes? Oh my God, shoes.
Shoes. Oh my God, shoes.
Let's get some shoes.
That was a
Iconic.
moment.
That was iconic. That was fucking funny when we were in high school. If I were to watch it now, I'd probably cringe. But at the time, that's some great entertainment.
Entertainment. I put the taint.
Yeah. Do you remember Scarlet Takes a Tumble?
What is that?
You know the girl who's singing on the table and she flips it over?
Yeah.
That was called Scarlet Takes a Tumble.
That was Cornbread.
Yeah.
Cornbread season 14.
That's how she rolled her ankle.
During last week's challenge, I rolled my ankle. I woke up in excruciating pain and my ankle was extremely swollen. And the doctor gave me orders to stay off of my feet for 6 to 8 weeks. Unfortunately, this is the end for me in season 14. But look on the bright side. Y'all might actually have a chance at winning the crown now that I'm gone.
Yeah. I didn't know her name was Scarlet.
I mean, it probably isn't.
Weird name.
It probably isn't. It
Scarlet.
was just named Scarlet Takes a Tumble.
Yeah.
Someone probably renamed it. There was another video called Shatid.
Shatid?
Yeah, but it was written out shithead.
Shithead.
And she's like, I'm Shatid.
What the fuck?
I encourage you all to watch it.
We're gonna post them on there.
Yeah.
On the Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
Let's
for
do
fun.
that.
We're gonna provide like chilling social commentary.
Chilling.
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 We're just chilling. Hit it.
But what are some of your favorite memes now?
I will always stick to Azalea Banks saying, "So, what now?"
I do.
I'm not the intern. I mean, she looked at me like,
What's wrong with that?
nothing at all.
Nothing's wrong with it.
So,
No, I'm saying
what now?
I mean,
The way that
And calling us faggots? I live.
yeah. Am I part of the problem for liking her? No.
No, you're just the problem, regardless of her.
Yeah. I'm blaming my problematic behavior on a problematic figure.
No, she's great. I love her, and she can never do no wrong. To me,
never.
she only speaks truth
Yeah.
to power, and live.
Resilience.
And resilience.
Yeah. What are some of my favorite moments?
I know
We share the love for New York Parlor.
Oh my
It's your time.
God. For me, I think of New York.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you want to say to Gemma?
Pretty much I will let Gemma know that she is a fat cunt. And the shoes that she gave me were not something that I would particularly buy for myself. They were old maiden type of shoes. As she said, those shoes were meant to be worn on a beautiful woman. So if that's the case, she should have put them back on the rack, and she should never even have purchased them because she was unqualified to own those shoes if that's the case.
And I think Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to humanity
and women who are
actually
beautiful
and
classy. And she just doesn't have the vernacular that she thinks she possesses. Somebody lied to her several times
and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful,
and she's
nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort.
Your tone seemed really pointed right now.
That was the point, baby.
Gemma found dead.
She's scalped. Scalped in the corner
that is what
of the bar.
I'm gonna tell my children that's Maya Angelou.
It was her. She said that right before she died.
What a fucking moment on internet in general.
One of my favorite viral videos of all time. I literally revisit that frequently.
That's your Bible.
That is my Bible. Just like you and Alyssa Edwards, New York reciting that is my Bible. Okay?
I believe in the power of song and dance.
And that was song, dance, and feminism.
So, love that. There's also Drag Race quotes. To all those people saying that quoting Drag Race is not a personality.
There's not.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It takes so much work. It's like
to remember such goals.
Yeah. Also, you're right. Judy Jessen Hooker. What is Judy? It took me years to realize what that means.
And I'm
still confused. It's the cartoon show about the people.
Jetsons.
Yeah, the Jetsons.
Yeah, Judy Jetson is the mom.
I thought it's like a region in California or some.
So I look like a Judy Jetson hooker.
So
just because you have a sugar daddy who pays for everything?
There were 5,000 Judy Jetson hookers out there.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. So I look like a Judy Jetson hooker. So I'm Judy Jetson hooker.
Where the hell did this bitch hear I had a sugar daddy?
And buy me all my dragon costume. Yeah. We're not gonna do the whole monologue.
No, we're not. Because I don't know it.
You don't know.
I don't know that one by heart.
Yeah.
But the one quote that inspired the name for this podcast, let me feel my oats. We already posted it on our Instagram.
I'm gonna play it.
I'm feeling my oats. Let me feel my oats.
Now that we've talked about a few of our favorite viral videos or viral memes, how would you describe Stan Twitter or just Stan culture in general?
Right. So first of all, I think Stan Twitter kind of describing like the whole fanaticism of fandom.
Yeah.
It's actually a reference to, surprisingly, an Eminem song called Stan.
Yeah.
Because he had a crazy fan called Stan.
Yeah.
So that kind of inspired of how people kind of describe the whole phenomenon of crazy fans and how devoted they are. And I think the moments that we just talked about on the internet is kind of fall into the category of stan culture. Exactly. Especially how people see how hilarious and how expressive and how extreme black media
might be.
And it's such a contrast to like the boring white like media that's like the heteronormative.
And literally, I think of white media as just like
the Ellen Show.
The Ellen Show or the absence of any kind of culture in general, right?
Right. But I mean, at the same time, it's been so popularized and it might signal a problem of like people have been talking about for so long about digital blackface.
Exactly.
And like a lot of white gay men, especially, co-opting those kind of language and also like the lines between like, is it okay if I'm quoting a black woman?
Yeah. I just did that.
Yeah.
But I understand like the power dynamics behind it.
Right.
But New York is also iconic.
A universal icon.
She is.
Yeah.
She is reality television.
Right.
She encapsulates just like the perfect kind of media for me.
Right.
So
pointed, so specific.
Yeah.
And so unapologetic, right?
Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah. You know, when she was like making fun of Hottie for claiming to look like Beyonce, and she's like, "You look like Luther Vandross in a wig," which
so
is
creative.
She's just so funny, and she's so effortless.
Yeah,
with her like approach to humor, but I don't think she actually thinks of herself as funny.
Also comedian.
Yeah, she is a comedian for sure, through and through.
Totally.
Yeah.
Maybe I should write about it.
Maybe.
I will write about it, actually. Fuck it, I'm just gonna write about it.
Stan culture.
Yeah.
And black social media, black representations of media.
And I wonder how people, the people who run those Stan culture accounts, how like who are they, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're often like a faceless profile, and I'm just wondering like what's their background like, what's their story.
Oh, you're gonna do some case studies.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some investigation.
Oh my god.
But I think this wraps up our
episode.
Yeah, on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've covered quite a lot, actually.
Yes, we did.
From our early memories of the internet and also some of our
favorite viral memes and some of our favorite quotes from just the internet in general.
Yeah. And can I just say?
Yeah.
You'll never be glamour.
Just because you have a sugar daddy who pays for everything.
So before we finish this episode, please send us a message on feelingmyoatspod@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast from. And while you're there, support a bitch by leaving us a 5-star rating.
Yes, please.
You can also find me, Jeff, on Instagram at JeffDunaway_ and Substack at pleaseremindme.substack.com. So you have a new piece of writing every week.
And for myself, you can come hang out with me on my Twitch stream at Feeling My Oats TTV. And I stream regularly on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from noon to 3 p.m. Yes. So, in the meantime, thank you for listening to our faggy voices and opinions, and we hope that you feel your oats today.
Today.
Woo! Bye, girlies.
Bye.